Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. How is everybody out there this morning? As you see, I have my morning cup of coffee here. We're enjoying a nice, huge cup of espresso. Compliments of Kevin Rizzoli, founder of U.S. Constitution Protects All Lives Matter. This morning, we're going to talk about law in regards to a nexus between the UCMJ and the Title 18 codes and civilian law. A member of the United States Armed Forces is not only subject to private sector laws, but is also subjected to Uniform Code of Military Justice, known as the UCMJ. The two standards of law operate differently as far as evidence goes. When the individual in the civilian sector, it goes by the beyond the reasonable doubt standard. But the United States Code of Military Justice, the UCMJ law, operates off of preponderance of the evidence. Preponderance of the evidence. That means you make a prima facie showing. You present a few witnesses or some documentary evidence, and you have your conviction. That conviction is separate from the UCMJ, private sector. Because if a military member is on active reserve or reserve and violates a law outside, he violates the laws of Uniform Code of Military Justice. I just had to pass a little gas, that's all. I'm sorry about that. That's the rats. We equate that to the rats. But again, getting back to this, these individuals who break the law, again, are subject to military law. And that goes for the individuals who are employed in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. A lot of members of the Bureau of Prison staff are military. A lot of the Bureau of Prison staff, willfully and knowingly, in unison and concert with one another, will violate the laws and cover it up. The individual disciplinary system where the inmates are subjected to is also ran by the preponderance of the evidence standard. This, the BOP gladly incorporated because it can cover up a lot of iniquities being committed to inmates in the Federal Bureau of Prisons. Just like the scandal that you seen covered up where the Obama administration authorized COINTELPRO, Project M, on target of Italian-American, Roman Catholics, and other Christian groups, mainly the Messianic Jews, who also are accepted into the Roman Catholic faith. It's we the people, for the people, by the people. It's not who, what, and how do I choose and target. But getting back to the military employees of the Federal Bureau of Prisons are still subject to such laws of the Uniform Code of Military Justice. So if your loved one or you're an inmate, convict, you should covertly find out if he's still active military. Because if he is, you can seek to have him brought before an Article 32 investigation, or what they call office hours for Marines be written up But an Article 32 is an equivalent of a grand jury. Excuse me. These individual grand juries, they go and testify. Where a federal grand jury, the individual can't present pro and con evidence. All evidence is against him as the individual grand juries in the feds. But the Article 32, the individual gets to present evidence in his favor. Well, he can produce all the evidence he wants in his favor, but statements are statements, and they can be indicted. Proof beyond a reasonable doubt doesn't go there. It's preponderance of the evidence. So it's easy to obtain an indictment on a military individual. How do I know this? Because I was indicted once also with the preponderance of the evidence standard. So again, ladies and gentlemen, equal application and protection of law clause is the 14th Amendment. Utilize it. Utilize it to its fullest extent. Because under the Articles of the U.S. Constitution, if that military person violates your rights, and he's on active duty, and he's working in a civilian job, he is still liable to the military. So again, ladies and gentlemen, inbox me and let's put down these lice that are violating people's U.S. constitutional rights in the Federal Bureau of Prisons and in state prisons. Even a police officer or a federal judge or any judge for that case, they can be taken before an Article 32 if they are active military, active reserve, as long as they are convicted of a crime in the civilian world, they could also be re-prosecuted in the United States military courts. There is no double jeopardy. Jeopardy only triggers in certain areas. So again, ladies and gentlemen, contact me and let's go to work and get rid of these lice that Biden had put into the Federal Bureau of Prisons to target people. Thank you very much. God bless you. And remember one thing. The United States Constitution is there for you and every citizen of the United States of America, because your vested constitutional rights are vested. They're not a privilege. They are yours from birth. You were born in this country. You will go and be protected under the umbrella of the U.S. Constitution and the Articles of the U.S. Constitution. Thank you very much. God bless you. And inbox me if you have any feedback as to the UCMJ nexus with the Title 18 or civilian law. Let's go to work, ladies and gentlemen. Let's clean up the United States of America.